Most Washington and Bicentennial quarters are spent every day, but a few rare versions have sold for huge money. Tiny details, silver content, and mint errors have turned ordinary quarters into collector treasures. Before you spend that 25 cents, take a closer look. You might be holding a quarter worth far more than you think. The 1966 U.S. Washington quarter is one of those coins that most people see every day without giving it a second thought. It was part of countless transactions, slipped into piggy banks, and ended up in pocket change just like the quarters we use now. For decades, the 1966 quarter was simply a familiar piece of silver-clad currency, not something most people expected to have significant value. But hidden among the millions of ordinary Washington quarters are rare and remarkable error coins that have turned what was once spare change into serious collector treasures. These rare errors have appeared in auctions for prices ranging from $72,450 to $152,320, numbers that most people wouldn't ever associate with a coin that originally was worth just 25 cents. A standard 1966 Washington quarter without any errors is generally worth only its silver melt value and a modest numismatic premium. In circulated condition, these coins typically sell for a few dollars above melt depending on silver prices. Even uncirculated examples without any unusual features are usually only worth tens of dollars to collectors who want to fill a date and mint set. The U.S. Mint produced millions of these coins, and because they are so common, most ordinary examples won't excite serious collectors or bring high auction prices. But when a coin has a true mint error, everything changes. Error coins are created when something goes wrong during the minting process. Problems with dies, misaligned strikes, planchet issues, and other anomalies that result in coins looking noticeably different from the standard examples. Among the rarest and most valuable varieties seen on the 1966 Washington quarter are doubled dies, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and die cracks. Of these, one of the most sought-after and high-value error types is the doubled die obverse. A doubled die error occurs when the die used to strike the coin receives multiple impressions that are not perfectly aligned. This misalignment creates a doubling effect on the coin's design elements, most commonly seen on lettering and the date. On a doubled die 1966 quarter, collectors often look for doubling on the word Liberty, In God We Trust, and especially the date 1966. On strong double die examples, these double details can be clearly visible without magnification and dramatically change the look of the coin. When comparing values, the difference between a normal 1966 quarter and a double die error coin is striking. A regular example might be worth a few dollars or a modest numismatic premium in uncirculated condition. But a genuine double die example, even in circulated condition, can be worth several $100s or more, depending on how pronounced the doubling is and the overall eye appeal of the coin. Collectors prize these coins because they are both rare and visually intriguing, often bringing strong bidding at auctions. As condition improves and the double die is more dramatic, values climb significantly. Uncirculated double die 1966 quarters with original surfaces and sharp detail have attracted serious collector interest. These examples have sold at major auctions for $5,000, $10,000, and higher as competition grows among collectors seeking the best specimens. But the most impressive auction results come from truly exceptional error coins, ones that combine rarity, condition, and striking eye appeal. In several high-profile auctions, rare individual 1966 Washington quarter double dies in top condition have sold for prices between $72,450 and $152,320. These results show the power of rarity and collector demand when the finest known examples of a dramatic error surface in a sale. Serious collectors are often willing to pay significant premiums to secure coins that are not only rare but also beautifully preserved. Of course, the double die is only one type of error that can make a 1966 quarter valuable. Other error varieties, while often less dramatic, still draw collector interest and can command respectable prices. One such error is the off-center strike. This occurs when a coin blank is not properly centered during striking, causing part of the design to be missing or shifted. Minor off-center errors might bring $25 to $75, but more dramatic off-center strikes, where a large portion of the design is missing yet the date remains intact, can sell for $200 to $800 or more, depending on the severity of the misalignment and the overall visual appeal. Another interesting error variety is the clipped planchet. These happen when the coin blank is improperly cut before striking, leaving a missing portion and an odd, curved edge on the finished coin. Clipped planchet errors are visually distinct and often valued by collectors. Depending on how large and well-defined the clip is, these coins can sell for $30 to $150 or more, with higher prices going to coins that are uncirculated and attractive. Die cracks and die breaks are other errors that collectors look for. These occur when the die used to strike the coin begins to fracture. The fractures show up as raised lines or irregular metal blobs on the coin's surface. Minor die cracks might only add a small premium, but bold and dramatic die breaks, especially ones that create unique patterns, can sell for $100 to $800 or more, depending on how striking they appear. Planchet defects can also create standout coins. If a planchet has impurities or defects before striking, the resulting coin may have unusual textures, weak spots, or other anomalies that make it collectible. These flawed planchet errors often sell for $50 to several $100s, depending on how noticeable and interesting the defect appears. When you compare these error varieties to standard 1966 quarters, the difference in value is remarkable. A normal coin, even in excellent condition, may be worth modestly above melt, while a rare error coin in high grade can sell for tens of thousands or more. That enormous gap is what motivates collectors and hobbyists to study their pocket change and search through old collections. The possibility of finding a rare error is always exciting. Condition plays a critical role in determining the value of error coins. Two coins with the same type of error can have dramatically different values if one is worn or damaged, while the other remains crisp and uncirculated. That's why many high-value error coins are submitted to professional grading services. When a coin is authenticated and encapsulated with a strong grade, buyer confidence increases and auction prices often follow. Auction results over the years show just how competitive the market for error coins has become. When a rare 1966 Washington quarter with a dramatic double die or other significant error appears in a major sale, bidders often push the final price into the five-figure range. Results of $72,450, $105,000, and even $152,320 are reminders that what looks like a simple silver-clad quarter can actually be an extraordinary find. For anyone who has Washington quarters from the 1960s in their collection or even in loose change, taking a closer look is always worthwhile. With a magnifying glass or loupe, details like doubling, off-center impressions, clips, or die breaks may suddenly reveal themselves. While most coins will prove to be ordinary, the possibility that one could be a rare error worth significant money keeps collectors sorting through old boxes and rolls with excitement and curiosity. What seems like a familiar, everyday coin can hide an incredible story of rarity and value. The 1966 Washington quarter reminds us that even common dates can sometimes produce remarkable error coins, and when they do, serious collector interest and staggering auction results follow. The 1776 to 1976 D Washington quarter is one of the most iconic coins in American numismatics. Struck to celebrate the United States Bicentennial, this coin was issued in huge numbers by the Denver Mint, and millions were released into circulation. For most people, a 1776 to 1976 quarter is just a piece of pocket change. A small, familiar coin with the classic stirring eagle on the reverse and George Washington's solemn portrait on the obverse. In general circulation, these quarters are common and usually only worth face value or a small premium if in especially nice condition. Yet tucked away in collections and rolls of change are rare error coins that have turned everyday quarters into astonishing treasures, with some examples fetching prices between $70,330 and $166,750 at auctions where collectors competed fiercely for ownership. A standard 1776 to 1976 D Washington quarter, even in uncirculated condition, is typically worth only a few dollars. Because they were minted in vast quantities in 1975 and 1976, demand for regular bicentennial quarters without any unusual traits is moderate, and collectors often only pay a small premium above face value for pristine examples. Unlike silver quarters from earlier years, the common clad bicentennial pieces lack significant inherent metal value, and their collectible appeal is usually tied to condition alone rather than scarcity. But when a mint error occurs, everything changes. Minting errors can happen at various stages of production, from planchet preparation to die striking, and the result is a coin that looks visibly different from its standard counterparts. These errors are exactly what serious coin collectors hunt for, because genuine mint mistakes are rare and often unpredictable. In the case of the 1776 to 1976 D Washington quarter, several error types have become highly prized, but one of the most valuable and sought after is the dramatic double die error. A double die error occurs when the die used to strike the coin receives two misaligned impressions during the hubbing process. When this flawed die is then used to strike coins, selected design elements appear doubled. On a doubled die 1776 to 1976 D quarter, collectors often look for doubling in areas like the date, inscriptions such as Liberty or In God We Trust, and other fine details that appear thickened or shadowed. The doubling may be subtle in some cases, but the strongest specimens show clear and bold doubled features that make them instantly recognizable to the trained eye. A typical 1776 to 1976 D quarter without any error might be worth $3 to $10 or so in high uncirculated grade, and maybe $1 or less in circulated condition. When a genuine double die error is present, values jump dramatically. Circulated error examples, where the doubling is visible but the surfaces show some wear, have been known to sell in the range of $800 to $3,500 at specialized coin auctions. These prices reflect the increased demand for error coins that are both authentic and visually compelling in higher grades. Where the doubling is strong and the surfaces remain sharp, prices climb significantly. Uncirculated double die 1776 to 1976 quarters with original luster have sold for $10,000, $25,000, or more when offered in highly competitive sales. Collectors prize these coins not just for their error characteristics but also for their eye appeal and rarity in top grades. The difference between a standard uncirculated quarter worth a few dollars and an error coin bringing $25,000 shows just how powerful mint mistakes can be in determining value. The most remarkable auction results for 1776 to 1976 D Washington quarter errors occur when the coin combines dramatic doubling with exceptional condition. In a handful of elite sales, rare certified examples have achieved staggering prices between $70,330 and $166,750. These results are typically reserved for the finest known examples in existence, coins that exhibit bold, unmistakable doubling and virtually flawless surfaces. The combination of rarity, condition, and collector demand drives prices to levels that most people would never expect for a coin that originally was worth just 25 cents. Errors are not limited to double dies. Other types of mistakes can also add significant value to a bicentennial quarter, though usually at lower levels than the most dramatic double dies. Off-center strikes, for example, occur when the planchet isn't properly aligned under the die during striking. Minor off-center errors might only be worth $50 to $150, but dramatic off-center strikes, where a large portion of the design is missing yet the date and details remain readable, can sell for $300 to $1,200 or more, depending on the severity of the misalignment and the overall eye appeal. Another collectible error type is the clipped planchet, where a curved or straight portion of the blank is missing because the planchet wasn't cut correctly before striking. These clipped coins tend to fetch $30 to $200, with larger and more distinct clips generally commanding higher prices in crisp, uncirculated condition. Die cracks and die breaks can also increase value if they are prominent and occur in interesting locations. These appear as raised lines or irregular surface areas where the die has fractured or begun to fail. Minor cracks may add only modest premiums, but coins with bold, attractive die breaks that do not detract from the overall eye appeal can sell for $100 to $800 or more among collectors who specialize in mint varieties. Another type of error that collectors enjoy searching for is the rotated die error, where the obverse and reverse are misaligned in relation to each other. Depending on the degree of rotation, these errors can range broadly in value. Coins with noticeable rotations of 90 degrees or more, combined with strong surfaces, can bring $100 to $350 or higher. The difference between these error coins and standard 1776 to 1976 D quarters highlights the dramatic impact of mint mistakes. A normal quarter, even in beautiful uncirculated condition, might sell for a modest premium. Meanwhile, a rare error piece in pristine condition can achieve five-figure prices and, in top examples, approach or exceed $166,750 at auction. This vast range of values is what keeps collectors deeply engaged in searching through rolls of coins, old collections, and pocket change for possible treasures. Condition plays a pivotal role in value. Two coins with the same error can have very different prices if one is worn, scratched, or cleaned while the other is crisp, clean, and lustrous. That's why many valuable errors are submitted to professional grading services. Certification not only confirms authenticity but also assigns a grade that helps buyers and sellers agree on a fair market value. A certified high grade often leads to stronger bidding at auction. Auction records underscore just how competitive the market for rare error coins has become. Serious collectors are constantly seeking out the finest known examples, and when a certified 1776 to 1976D double die quarter appears, bidding can escalate rapidly. Results in the range of $70,330 to $166,750 show how badly collectors want these rare pieces and how much they're willing to pay when the perfect coin comes up for sale. For anyone holding bicentennial quarters or sorting through older change, it's worth taking a closer look. With a magnifying glass, details that seem ordinary at first glance. Slight doubling, misaligned features, unusual surface patterns can reveal something extraordinary. While most coins will still be common and not worth much above face, the possibility of uncovering a rare error piece keeps collectors checking every coin with excitement. What may appear at first to be ordinary pocket change could, under the right circumstances, turn out to be a rare treasure. The 1776 to 1976D Washington quarter reminds us that even modern commemorative coins can hide incredible surprises, waiting to be discovered by the keen eye of the next collector. The 1983p Washington quarter is one of those coins most people have seen thousands of times without giving it a second thought. It's a familiar piece of pocket change with George Washington's profile on the front and an eagle on the back, produced by the Philadelphia Mint in huge quantities. For the average person, this coin is worth exactly 25 cents. Even uncirculated examples of a normal 1983p Washington quarter are usually only worth $1 or $2 at most. But hidden among the millions of ordinary quarters are a handful of rare error coins so unusual and scarce that they have completely flipped the coin's value. Some of these rare error quarters have sold at auction for eye-opening amounts ranging from $62,110 to $141,650, figures that are almost unbelievable for a coin that originally cost only a quarter. Most 1983p Washington quarters without errors are extremely common, and their values reflect that abundance. In circulated condition, a standard coin is worth face value, 25 cents, and might make $1 or $2 in uncirculated condition because of its shine or color. These normal quarters are easy to find in coin folders, Jared collections, and loose change, and there is little excitement among collectors for standard examples. It isn't until an error is present that the story changes dramatically. Error coins occur when something goes wrong during the minting process. These mistakes can involve the dies, design alignment, planchets, striking force, or other technical details. When an error is dramatic and clearly visible, it can transform a common coin into a highly collectible rarity. One of the most sought-after error types associated with the 1983p Washington quarter is the double die obverse. A double die error happens when the die used to strike the coin receives more than one impression of the design slightly misaligned. When a coin is struck with this die, parts of the design, such as the date, lettering, or even George Washington's profile, can appear doubled. On a strong double die 1983 quarter, the doubling is noticeable without any magnification, especially around the date, the words United States of America and quarter dollar. These coins are instantly recognizable to those who know what to look for, and they are extremely attractive to collectors because they reveal something unusual and unmistakable about the minting process. The difference in value between a normal 1983p quarter and a double die error is massive. A regular coin might be worth just a couple of dollars even in perfect uncirculated condition, but a genuine double die example can be worth thousands of dollars, depending on the strength of the doubling and the overall condition of the coin. Lightly circulated double die error quarters have been known to sell for $1,000 to $4,000 at auction, with prices increasing as the doubling becomes more dramatic and the coin surfaces more appealing. Uncirculated double die quarters with sharp details and strong doubling are especially valuable. These coins have been known to sell for $10,000, $20,000, and even more as collectors compete for the finest examples. Professional certification and high grades from grading services like PCGS or NGC often drive prices even higher because buyers have confidence in the coin's authenticity and condition. And some of the most competitive auction results. Rare 1983p Washington quarter error coins have sold for prices ranging from $62,110 to as much as $141,650. These extraordinary figures are usually reserved for the most dramatic and well-preserved examples. Coins that have bold doubling, excellent eye appeal, and top-tier certification. When such coins come to market, serious collectors often engage in intense bidding, driving prices into territory far beyond what most people imagine for a modern quarter. Double dies aren't the only error type that can add value to a 1983p Washington quarter. Other error varieties are also collectible, though often with lower price points than the most dramatic double dies. One such error is the off-center strike, which occurs when the planchet, the blank metal disc, is not properly aligned under the dies during striking. As a result, part of the design is missing or cut off. Minor off-center errors might sell for $50 to $150, but more dramatic off-center strikes, where a significant portion of the design is missing yet the date is still visible, can bring $300 to $1,000 or more, especially if the error is noticeable and the coin is well preserved. Another collectible error is the clipped planchet. This happens when the metal blank is improperly cut before striking, leaving a curved or straight missing section on the finished coin. These clipped quarters can sell for anywhere from $30 to $200 depending on how large and attractive the clip appears, with uncirculated examples commanding higher prices. Rotated die errors are yet another interesting category. These occur when the obverse and reverse dies are not aligned properly, leaving one side of the coin rotated relative to the other. These rotation errors can range from slight to extreme, and coins with dramatic rotation and strong surfaces can sell for $75 to $400 or more. The value depends largely on how noticeable the rotation is and how well the coin has been preserved. Planchet defects, where the blank used to strike the coin exhibits flaws or impurities, can also create unusual coins. These defects might show as uneven surfaces, weak strikes, or odd textures. Depending on how unusual and distinctive the flaw appears, such coins can sell from $50 to several $100s, particularly among collectors who specialize in error and variety coins. When you compare these error coins to standard 1983p Washington quarters, the difference in value is staggering. A normal coin, even in perfect condition, is only worth a few dollars at most, while a rare error example can sell for thousands or even over $100,000 in the right circumstances. This massive gap in value is what motivates collectors to look closely at coins that otherwise appear ordinary. Condition is a key factor in determining value. Two coins with the same type of error can have very different price tags if one is worn or damaged while the other is crisp and well preserved. That's why many serious collectors send their error coins to professional grading services. Certification confirms the error and the condition, giving buyers confidence and often resulting in significantly higher auction prices. Auction results over the years clearly show how competitive the market is for rare error Washington quarters. When a certified 1983p double die quarter with strong details and excellent eye appeal appears at auction, it can attract intense bidding. Some coins have sold for $62,110, $85,000, $120,000, and even up to $141,650, especially when the coin offers both rarity and exceptional quality. For anyone who has 1983p quarters in their collection or in pocket change, taking a closer look can be incredibly rewarding. With a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe, subtle doubling, misalignment, or other unusual features might catch your eye, and suddenly a seemingly ordinary quarter could be something much more valuable. While most coins will prove to be ordinary, the possibility of uncovering a rare mint error that's worth life-changing money keeps collectors searching and excited. What might look like just another modern quarter could be one of the rarest and most valuable Washington errors in existence. The 1983p Washington quarter shows us that even the most common coins can hide extraordinary surprises when errors and rarity collide.